We've all heard it said, God is love. But if you've read the old stories, you'll notice something else. God also seems to have a very short fuse. Floods, plagues, fire raining from the sky, whole cities destroyed, sometimes for disobedience, sometimes for doubt, and sometimes just for eating the wrong fruit. So here's the playful question. Does God need anger management counseling? The gods we tell stories about often look a lot like us. Loving, yes. Protective, yes. But also jealous, moody, and vengeful. Maybe what we call divine wrath is really just us, projecting our own temper tantrums onto the heavens. But let's play along. If God were in therapy, what would that sound like? Therapist asks, "So tell me about your week." God says, "Well, I made a perfect garden, but when two humans ate one forbidden fruit, I kicked them out forever." Therapist says, overreaction. Let's note that down. God says, "Then humanity got too corrupt, so I drowned nearly everyone on earth, saved just one family and some animals." Therapist comments, "Catastrophic thinking, definitely." God adds, "Later, I burned a city with fire and brimstone, and turned a woman into salt for glancing backward." At this point, the therapist's pen snaps in half, and it doesn't stop there. When people built a tower reaching for the sky, the punishment wasn't just dream smaller. No, every language was scrambled so humanity could never cooperate again. When a group complained in the desert, the ground didn't just shake, it swallowed them whole. When a leader struck a rock instead of speaking to it, the sentence was lifelong exile. And in another tale, an entire army drowned, not just guilty rulers, but every soldier who followed. Therapists call this disproportionate response. But here's the thing. Maybe these stories were never meant as divine police reports. They were morality plays, warnings. Ancient people dramatized justice through thunder and fire because plain advice, actions have consequences, wasn't exciting enough. What looks like God's rage might simply be human poetry about cause and effect. So, if God really did book a counseling session, the therapist might lean back and say, "You're fine, but your human storytellers, they really need therapy. They keep mistaking justice for anger, fairness for fury." So, does God need anger management counseling? Maybe not. But humanity might, because when we imagine the divine as quick-tempered and vengeful, it says less about God and a whole lot more about us. After all, maybe the ones who need to count to 10 before lashing out are us humans. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.